How did you react when it was alleged by your former close aide, Dominic Cummings, that your wife, quotes, pulls the strings?
I don't wish to comment on any of the sayings of any of my former advisors, who are now many.
And the number could always grow.
No, the number there are many, as you know, number 10 Downing Street. I looked at it the other day. Just in the last year, I think we've had about 220 people arrive in number 10. I don't know how many have left. Quite a few. And I'm sure they've all got something interesting to say, but I have no intention of commenting on it. And to go back to your
Yes.
your earlier point,
Yes,
about transparency and candor, I'm all in favour of people having their views.
Professor Ferguson has said today, soon we can look back on lockdown in October. Do you share that level of enthusiasm? Are you still pressing the note of caution as regards that?
Well, I've got a high regard for Professor Ferguson, who's a very distinguished...
Yes, there are caveats in now. He's not saying open all the doors.
No, he's not. He's a very distinguished modeller, I think
some would say his numbers were a bit high. It was going to be 100,000.
But
it was 30.
These are things that are very difficult to compute. We've seen some encouraging recent data. There's no question about that. But it is far, far too early to draw any general conclusions. And what we did...
You don't share that note of enthusiasm. Well, look back at lockdown in October.
I think it's
the ketchup.
I think
the ketchup can
the
be poured.
most important thing.
Not one of your better ones. But do go on.
No, possibly one of my worst. But the most important thing is for people to recognise that the current situation still calls for a lot of caution.
If someone refuses a vaccine, are they being selfish?
No, I think that I would put it the other way around. Say if you get one, you're doing something massively positive for yourself, for your family.
If you like numbers, you'll know that any police officer who's earning above 24,000 per annum gets no pay rise. Anything below that gets £250 per year. That's about 60-something pence a day. It's the cost of a Mars bar. I know we want a thin blue line, but this is ridiculous if they can only just about afford a Mars bar, isn't it?
Well, the objective is to thicken the blue line with more officers, and that's what we're doing. And I take your points very sincerely about pay, Nick, and no one would want to pay our fantastic police more than I would. We're just going through a tough time financially for the government, and I think most people do understand that. I just ask people to recognise that, but also that the government is doing what it can to expand police numbers as fast as we can, also to give them things that they need, more body-worn cameras, greater ability to use tasers, more powers, for instance, over stop and search, and as I say, protections against unreasonable behaviour by members of the public, assaults that all too often they face. You've got 300,000 problem drugs users who are, I'm afraid, the part of this county lines phenomenon. You need to be dealing with their problem, and so you need to be putting money into rehab, into their mental health, into helping them away from the disaster that they're making of their lives. So you've got to come down like thunder.
So
come down like a ton of bricks.
This issue.
Hang on, wait, come.
Well, then Sadiq is not doing it.
Wait.
I'm having to wait for a lot of things.
I know. I'll come to both Theresa May.
So much.
I know, but no, it's not. Your mind is very capacious, Nick. It's very capacious, and what I'm trying to get to is a twin-track strategy.
Okay.
Come down tough on the county lines drug gangs, wrap them up, roll them up. We've done 1,000 already, but also look after the victims, the chronic drugs users, the tragic characters who get involved, and by the way, think also about ways of wrapping up the whole drugs network.
And is Dame Cressida the woman to push this through?
I think that I've had, as you know, and you'll have known Cress for a very long time. I think she's a formidable police officer, and I think that
is she the woman to deliver on this?
All that is a matter for the Mayor of London and the Home Secretary, and it's.
Is the Mayor of London the man to bring this through?
Look, I'm not going to get... This is not the occasion for me to give
I just think
the Mayor of London one of my ritual kickings.
I think
but
the close...
Since you invite me to do so...
Put your football boots on.
Since you invite me to do so, I think that I think there is more that could be done to fight knife crime on the streets of London, and I would urge the mayor to do it. I think we're going to talk about it together quite soon, I hope. The issue for me is it's about taking responsibility.
You must have concerns that journalists could face prison terms of up to 14 years under plans to reform the Official Secrets Act. Prime Minister.
This is I know, but this is not what we want to do at all. And let me.
Well, it's by your colleague Priti Patel. The consultation has begun.
And this is a consultation. And let me
so
make
we don't
it
need to worry about
absolutely yes. We don't. I don't want to have a world in which people are prosecuted for in a public for doing what they think is their public duty. Why
What
they're
about
out
tough
there
on drunks breaking
and
into
being-
Wembley at the Euros final? Were you disappointed to see that?
I was disappointed by that. I think that the UK has a fantastic case to the world to host great football championships, where the best
Was
place
it an
on earth to
advert
do
for
it.
that, do you think?
I think
World
we
Cup
looked.
2030?
I think we looked great in many ways, but this was unquestionably letting the side down. And
Doesn't
it was
the police? Don't the police have questions to answer about that, Prime
I know
Minister?
that there's a full review and inquiry going into what went wrong.